Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, I'm Marla. I write books and I also read them. And this is my, I don't want to say monthly recap, but this is my November it list. So let's get into it, right? All right, so really quick update on my 2025 book challenge. I started off the year with wanting to read 36 books. That's basically 3 books a month, to account for any type of issues or anything that like troubles that arise, right? I didn't want to go crazy on the books that I wanted to read, and I also didn't want to be too conservative. And I think I might have feared on the side of too conservative because I've pretty much tripled my goal, right? I've completed 118 books according to Goodreads, and that's not including anything that came off of my Hoopla or Cloud library or my hard copies, my print books, right? I have several books that are begging to be read. They're on my TBR, but there's books that I actually touched. And yeah, so let's get into it, okay? Um, for November 2025, I actually did like DNF a couple of books. Okay, a few. Okay. The first one that I DNF was My Funny Valentine by Aurora Asher. I honestly, this has nothing to do with me not liking the premise. This has nothing to do with plot. This has everything to do with me. I'm 100% sure that I am autistic. I'm also ADHD. Um, and if you don't know what that is, they call it odd. And I need to go get officially diagnosed, but I'm 100, like, I'm there. I cannot get over third person point of view. It takes me so long to read a third person point of view. And this one, I just feel like there's a lot of telling in this POV. Hear me out. It's not like she's not showing. And I think it's because it's third person. I don't think it's her at all. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm not going to give up because this series has potential. This book has potential. I just hit a roadblock because of third person point of view. The next book that I DNF'd is The Wrath of the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. Mind you, that just came out. And this is the 4th book in the God and Monster series. And I probably made it 10%, and there was something that was said, and I was like, I do not remember this. So I'm going to go back and read books 1 to 3. That's why I DNF'd it. It is not because it's not good. I know for a fact that this is probably going to be a God tier book for me because all the rest of her books are. These are books that I will reread over and over and over and over and not have a problem. The next book that is I've been DNFing since September is The Primal of Blood and Bone. And the reason why I keep trying to read this is because I actually purchased this book. And I don't know. You guys tell me, is it just me? If you read this book and you liked it, please drop a comment and let me know, like, when does it pick up? Because I literally cannot, like, the first 10% of the book, she's still asleep. And I'm like, she's literally the female main character. She carries the book. The whole series is based off of her. Like, is it just me? I don't know. So, like I said, I've been trying to reread this book since September. Like, I've been like picking it up, opening it, and closing it. It's not doing it for me. It's not doing it for me. So yeah, those are the things that I DNF this month again. And there's a couple of things on my DNF list that I will get into, but this will all be on my 2025 DNF. Like, so if I can't make it out of December with these books probably will end up on my DNF list. Okay, so let's jump straight into the reviews. If you're still here, drop a red heart in the comment and let me know. Okay, so the first series that we have is the female series by Envy Wright. Book 1, I started, and I honestly, somebody suggested this, and I was just like, well, one of my beta readers suggested it. It was like, hey, you're kind of writing something similar. You're not writing about like the female limitation and in eugenics, that's not in her book, but there's the female part, like the gender of dying out, right? The female gender dying out. And I was like, oh, well, shit, let me check it out. and it's a very spicy romance fantasy book. So excellent premise. Like I said, the female main character is Charlie. Charlie was born in secret. Her parents kept her in like a dugout under the house whenever they were entertaining, and she is captured and took to a center, and where, like, maybe a year or a half a year goes by, and she's sold and she's purchased by the king of wrath, so a demon. Charlie goes in there with like the pretense she's still a virgin, and it's very, very good. So the female main character is Charlie or Charlotte, whatever you want to say, and then there's three main male characters. There's Aziel, Gray, and Silas. They're all demons. One's a fate, one's the king of wrath, and one is a lust demon, so an incubus, right? Like I said, great. I was really into it. The second book was just her males. I was into it, and then we got into the cheating trope. And I did not agree with the cheating trope. And I don't know if it's really hard for people to understand what cheating is. Maybe some people need some therapy around it. But if you don't, that's like being mad at somebody because they got raped. Because in the cheating situation, she did not cheat. She literally. Okay, first, I don't want to say groomed. How about this? First of all, she's a virgin. She's captured. She's taken in by these three demons. These are her first sexual experiences. She never has any other sexual experiences, right? She ends up somewhere in a situation where she's between a succubus and a shifter, and things go a little too far. First of all, it's a fucking succubus, okay? So I don't know if I would ideally say that's cheating, because you have a lust demon that is controlling all of your emotions there. And then on top of that, you also are inexperienced. So I don't know if I would call it cheating. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe manipulated cheating. And the way that some of the males acted was diabolical. Because if they would have did it to her, they would have like, oh, I don't know. Where's the sympathy and the empathy for me? So it took me a minute to get past that. But once I got past it, it got really good. I'm currently reading Their War, which is the third book in the series. Um, and I, I struggle. It's taking me quite some time to read this. Something that would normally take me 1 day, 2 days, is taking me like 3 or 4, because I literally am pissed off at a, a plot thread. So, and I'm not mad. It's just me. I will tell you though, this is an indie author. This is a self-published author. Please do not go in there with the expectation that everything's going to be perfect. I think a lot of people go into these books that are published by indie authors, and they think that like they have all this money to spend on proofreading and copy editing and beta reading out, and it's just, you can't. So there's a couple of typos, there's a couple of grammatical errors, and okay, oh well, if that is something that you cannot get by, do not check the book out. But I kid you not, I do not feel like those errors like are reasons for you not to read it. Check the book out if you're just a reader. I promise you, check the book out. So the next book that I read for the month of November is Bad Bishop, L.J. Sheen. And trigger warning, there is an on-page rape. Yeah. I don't know how else to say that. So there's an on-page rape. There's mental disabilities that is kind of faked. um, and yeah. So the book covers basically the love story of Lila and Tiernan. Lila is she is disabled, but not mentally. Um, and a crazy Irish mafia, Irish mob leader. And Tiernan is, honestly, I think he's saner than what I would have liked him to be, because based off his childhood, he should be cuckoo. But anyways, like Lila gets raped. Daddy sells her off because he's like embarrassed, and he sells her off to Tiernan because Tiernan's crazy, and he's just trying to. His goal is to like grow his family, and he's doing so. And Lila's father's like, you can grow your family more within my territory by marrying my daughter. And Tiernan jumps on it, but he ends up falling for her. And yeah, just know that this book is. I gave it a 4-star. I gave it a 4-star because I liked it, but then sometimes there's like a piece of me that just really wants to push Lala's mother down the stairs. Y'all some nice forgiving people, because if my mother had these type of tendencies, I don't know if I could have forgave her. And I'm just saying that. Okay? Period. But good job, LJ. Good job. I like the book. Read the book. Okay, guys? I don't know if you're gonna reread it more than once, but read it. Check it out if you haven't. Okay, the next book in this that I read in this series, the next book that I read, and this is my God tier book for the month of November, is Bratva Bride by T.J. McGuire. Shout out to Mariana on TikTok and Instagram that told me to check this book out. Well, actually told me to check the whole series out. I will not be checking the whole series out because I don't want to. But the book, God tier, I will reread this book. And I'm going to give you one reason and one reason why. People call me a feminist. I'm not. I just like strong females. I'm a strong female. I like to read something that possibly will represent me. Ileana is a strong female. She is Bratva, and her territory is Las Vegas. And Ileana and her brothers are raised up together. She was put in the fighting rings. There was no like, oh, she's a female, I must protect her. Her dad was like, no, you're gonna learn how to protect yourself, because her mother was killed. And her dad was like, no, we're not having this again. So she is badassery and amazing woman just wrapped up into one, and it's just a beautiful thing. And then there's Arturo Luca. So it's no, not Luca. Arturo de Luca, or is it de Castra? You know what? Oh, that's not good. Hold on, guys. Let me look this up. Nope, it is de Luca. Okay, so Arturo de Luca, literally, he's also a badass, morally gray, dark main male character. So your typical Italian mafia leader. That is him. Ileana has the ability to basically, if her dad wanted to leave it to her, he could. She's so badass that she sees the strategy of marrying Arturo. She sees it, and she doesn't have a problem with it. Like most brats, if you look at the normal mafia books, mafia romance, it's like all the girls are all like, I'm in this arranged marriage and I hate it. But no, not with this one. No, badass. Arturo and Liliana has great chemistry. Like it's just such chemistry. Like I felt it on the page when they first meet each other. Like I said, perfect chemistry. So if you get a chance, please, for the love of God, check out Bratva Bride by T.J. McGuire. It is so good. This is God tier. I will reread. What I won't reread, or what I won't be reading, is the series. Those are the books that you guys should check out. Don't hesitate. I'm not steering you wrong. If you are like me and you like dark romance, sci-fi romance, romantasy, fantasy, those type of things, then I'm your girl. I'm your girl. I also just read romance. Okay. I don't want to call it a bookish haul, but a bookish haul. So in the month of October, I read a book by Annie Davenport. and I read on Kindle Unlimited a book by Annie Davenport. It's called Our Viscious Oaths. I bought it. I bought it this month because it was so good. This is also a god tier for me. Sorry. And unfortunately, I probably have to do another review because I know I didn't do one for October. But it's so good. It's just a really good book. I don't know. And it's a black author. So I can't say no to it. So like I said, I read it on my Kindle and then I actually had to go out and physically support because it is that good. And so I will reread this book. I really will, just because Kadisha and Malachi, great chemistry. Great chemistry. And I know I'm not doing a book review, but baby, she put grills on the characters. And this is fantasy. These are fae in this book, and they have grills. Good job. Good job. Okay. And then I also bought some new bookmarks. They're magnetic bookmarks, which I normally make myself, but I really like this one because I obviously struggle. So the one of the bookmarks says one more page, the other one says fell asleep here. And then this one says hold my spot. And I thought these were the cutest things. So I absolutely had them. There's some things on my TBR that's gonna be a whole new episode, but I'm going to be recreating a TBR jar because it is just getting out of hand how many books that I have on my TBR. It's actually quite embarrassing, and I really need to do something about it. And you're probably like, Marley, you said you write books. How are you writing and reading all these books? Because this is not all the books that I read in November. These are just the ones that I wanted to call out. I don't know. A lot of patience, a lot of like stuff. So yeah, pray for me. I'm hopefully wrapping up one of my books that's coming out soon. So follow along for that journey because that's absolutely crazy. Yeah. All right. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you like what you see and you want more of what you see, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you have any book recommendations, because what's a TBR? But if you have any book recommendations, please drop them in the comments, and I will add them to my TBR, and hopefully they'll come out of my TBR jar and I can actually read them. I really, really love to read, guys. I think reading is fundamental, and I think a lot of people. I think the reason that the country is the way that it is today because a lot of people lack reading comprehension. And in order for you to strengthen comprehension, you actually have to read and reflect on what you just read. So there's that. So, like I said, if there's something that I'm missing in my life that you think that would add some type of value, um, and you think that's amazing read, and it'll probably be one of my God tier books, please, 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 please drop it in the comments. All right, peace out.